Hello, my motor enthusiasts. In 2023, Ferrari was on an unwavering mission, tirelessly developing their SF23 Formula One machine. The car evolved with a new front wing design, a notable S-duct, and modifications to the rear wing, as well as tweaks to the chassis and suspension. The team even experimented with various aerodynamic elements such as the innovative floor, the side pods, and the mirrors. With each race, the SF23 revealed new updates, a true testament to Ferrari's commitment to development. Striking a balance between downforce and straight-line speed was the name of the game, customizing specifications for each unique circuit. The effort bore fruit, with Ferrari triumphant at the Singapore Grand Prix and even taking on Mercedes for the coveted runner-up position in the Constructors' Championship. Quite a remarkable journey for Ferrari in 2023, wasn't it? I'm Enzo, your host, and alongside me is our resident expert and commentator, William Turner. As you may know, we bring you the most thrilling motor racing news and analysis on the F1 Motor Fever podcast every day.
Pleasure to be here, Enzo.
Now, if you're a fan of high-speed action and pit lane drama, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on those notifications, and drop us a comment. It's great to share your thoughts, and trust me, it helps us a lot. Share us with your friends and family because, well, who doesn't love a good bit of engine roar?
Absolutely, Enzo Watts. Everyone can get behind some good wheel-to-wheel action.
Quite right, William Turner. Now, I have to say you won't believe what we're about to discuss today. It's a real testament to the relentless pursuit of performance and innovation in Formula One. This story is definitely going to rev your engines. So stick around, because as always, we're about to go full throttle. So, let's delve a bit more into Ferrari's 2023 game plan. They adopted a constant development approach, which included an architectural shift in the side pod design that followed the likes of Red Bull, Alpine, and Alfa Tauri. And it paid off, didn't it? They even clinched a win with a triumphant performance by Carlos Sainz in Singapore.
Indeed, it was a fantastic season for them. They were so close to overtaking Mercedes in the race for the Constructors' runner-up position.
Right you are. They made some impressive adjustments to the car, didn't they? The SF23's front wing differed from its predecessor in terms of length, as the tip was no longer connected to the main plane. That's quite a unique approach, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The SF23 also had this interesting feature, which was exclusive to Ferrari. The airflow captured below the inlet was allowed to escape to the side pod's upper surface, a clever aerodynamic strategy.
Then there were some major modifications to the chassis, allowing the lower arm to be positioned slightly lower. Quite the technical marvel it was.
Yes, it's these subtle details that really highlight the prowess of Maranello's machine. Exciting times ahead for them, I reckon.
Couldn't agree more. It's all about those marginal gains, isn't it? All these changes just to shave off a fraction of a second. But that's what makes the difference in Formula One. It's a sport of precision. Let's see what 2024 has in store. And the evolution didn't stop there, did it? After the season's opening race in Bahrain, Ferrari introduced a new rear wing in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. This one featured a single central support pillar, as opposed to the previous two-pillar setup. Quite a distinctive change.
True, they also made a bite into the front wing end plate as part of an update for Saudi Arabia. A C-shaped cutout at the bottom, most likely targeting an improved outwash effect.
Now, the detail I find fascinating is the close-up of the slot gap separators installed on the Italian car's front wing. They reportedly provide more aerodynamic support than the standard horseshoe-style brackets in Formula One.
Yes, I found that intriguing as well. Also, the SF23's nose without the external panel in place gives us a glimpse of how the impact structure and outer panels are packaged. It's intriguing to see that component in a somewhat different form.
Then there's the added sensors the SF23 was equipped with in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, all to collect additional data in Baku.
Absolutely. The Flovis paint was also used as a means of obtaining visual confirmation of performance on the rear wing, diffuser, and so on. It's a common tool for all F1 teams, isn't it?
Indeed. And the comparison between the front brake arrangement of the F175 and the SF23 shows how the Maranello outfit chose to move the caliper to the low position. Quite the overhaul, wouldn't you agree? As we continue to delve deeper into the SF23's specifications, we notice a new drilling pattern. This was favored to better control temperatures across a wider range, something crucial for performance. Then, in Monte Carlo, Ferrari's high downforce rear wing offering for the Monaco Grand Prix featured a single mounting pillar, another example of Ferrari's continuous efforts to innovate and adapt according to the circuit. The fascinating part about examining a Formula One car is the closer you look, the more intricate details you find. For instance, there's a close-up of the chassis duct beneath the main side pod inlet. Then, there's the chassis duct outlet and the two cooling gill panels within the side pod tub. It's like peering into a high-tech jigsaw puzzle where every piece is precisely designed and fitted to serve a specific function. Now, the SF23's floor edge had two cutouts to create a separation point in the middle, with the back part of the floor tapering inward and upward. This might seem like a small detail, but it's incredibly key to the car's aerodynamic performance. The floor, as we all know, is the most crucial part of the current generation of Formula One cars, introduced in 2022 with the return of ground effect. The floor generates around 60% of the car's downforce. In Barcelona, the SF23 saw a new side pod package as the team moved away from their bathtub-style solution and adopted something more akin to the downwash solutions many rivals were now using. Finally, the revised floor edge on the SF23 then featured an elongation with an upward-facing section at the front, while a metal strut was used to connect the more rearward section. So you see, it's more than just a car. It's a carefully crafted piece of engineering where every single detail matters.
As we delve deeper into these technical details, a close-up of the SF23 chassis without the external panel installed allows us to see some of the internal suspension elements. It reminds me of my own childhood when I was fascinated with how things worked. I would often dismantle my toys only to put them back together. Little did I know then how that curiosity would shape my career. Now, back to the SF23. Harmony between the suspension, the floor, and the aerodynamic surface is absolutely crucial. It's like a well-orchestrated symphony where every element plays a vital role.
Indeed. And speaking of details, the close-up of the SF23's rearview mirror and the surfaces around it is rather interesting. Although these aerodynamic surfaces have lost prominence to the floor, they still play a significant role.
Right you are. Looking at the halo region and airbox of the SF23, which is crammed with fins and flow adjustment winglets, I can't help but reminisce about the late 2000s, when Formula One cars were brimming with such aerodynamic solutions.
And the evolution continues. A new front wing design was employed in Spielberg, with the C-shaped cutout in the end plate filled in once again and a small winglet incorporated in its place.
Yes, and let's not forget the front edge of the floor and the fences in an interesting image that catches the floor disassembled while the car is being fixed in the garage of the Prancing Horse. It's reminiscent of my days as a young lad, watching in awe as mechanics worked on race cars.
Quite a memory, I must say. The Ferrari team employed a biplane-style wing arrangement in the British Grand Prix at the iconic Silverstone circuit, with an upper slat element placed ahead of the lower element.
And to top it all, there's a look at the Ferrari power unit before the team puts it in its corresponding place behind the chassis. It's like looking at the heart of the beast before it's carefully nestled inside the body. It brings to mind the first time I saw a car engine as a child. The sheer complexity left me awestruck, much like the technical marvel we're discussing today.
Maranello's engine remained highly competitive in the 2023 season, and oh, that reminds me of a trip I took to Ferrari's home base in Maranello. The air of anticipation and the sense of commitment to excellence were palpable.
Hey, I'm sure your Italian holiday was quite a sight to behold. Did you have a gelato while you were admiring the engines?
You're scoffing, but let me tell you, Being in the birthplace of these extraordinary machines offers an insight you won't get from just studying them on paper. It's about appreciating the history, the legacy, and the relentless pursuit of perfection that sets these engines apart.
You're absolutely right, and I apologize if it seemed like I was trivializing your experience. I know how much you respect the technical and historical aspects of the sport.
It's all right. Let's move on to more technical details. For instance, Ferrari tested a rear wing with a lower mounting point in the Hungarian Grand Prix at the traditional Hungaroring. Not to mention the rear section of the SF23's floor, with the connecting block for the metal support now configured as a bridge between the floor and the side wing.
And let's not forget the new rear wing design introduced at the Belgian Grand Prix in Spa-Francorchamps. Ferrari presented their version of the open-tip section solution that many of their competitors had already tested.
Absolutely. And the Italian Grand Prix saw Ferrari's rear wing simply a redesign of the Monza 2022 design. The team preferred to save the necessary resources to develop a bespoke solution. It's a clear example of the strategic decisions that teams have to make to optimize their resources throughout the season.
Which brings us to a rare glimpse of the rear structure, with the SF23's suspension and brake set standing in the garage. Even the rear brake disc and caliper fairings were thermally treated with silver paint. This just goes to show the level of detail that goes into creating these machines. It's quite fascinating, isn't it?
Indeed, it's like a mechanical ballet where every part has its role to play in the dance. Well, moving on, we have an unusual view of the front wing without the two movable flaps, absent in this clip below. It's always intriguing to see these machines stripped down to their bare essentials, isn't it?
Indeed, it's like looking at a skeleton, isn't it? And speaking of changes, larger gills were employed in Mexico to aid with cooling due to the thin air. How crucial do you think these minor adjustments are for overall performance?
Crucial? Let's say these so-called minor adjustments can make the difference between standing at the top of the podium or trailing behind the pack. Now, let's take a look at the rear collision structure, suspension, and rear brake set viewed from above.
Right. And the SF23 was equipped with two solutions at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, as the team sought the right balance between the necessary downforce and the straight-line speed advantage that could be gained. It's all about finding that sweet spot, isn't it?
It is indeed. Now, if you look closely at the list of components Ferrari listed as altered in the car presentation document before each race, you'll see that some races saw multiple adjustments, like in Spain, while others like in Australia, Canada, and the Netherlands had no alterations.
I'm curious, how does the team decide which components to alter and when? Is it purely based on the track layout and conditions, or are there any other factors at play?
That's a question for the engineers. Let's stick to what we know best, shall we?
Ah, I see. I didn't mean to overstep.
No worries, it's a valid question. And to answer it as best as I can, I'd say a variety of factors come into play, including track layout, weather conditions, and data from previous races. Now let's return to our detailed breakdown. As we delve deeper into the intricacies of Formula One engineering, it's clear that the competition for P2 is heating up. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. It's becoming quite a fierce battle. And it makes one wonder, what can we expect from Formula One in 2024?
Well, if the developments we've seen so far are any indication, I think we can expect an exciting and unpredictable season. The teams are constantly innovating and pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the sport.
Yes, the evolution of the sport is quite remarkable. It's mind-boggling to think about the sheer amount of work that goes into every single race. The teams don't just show up and race. There's a massive amount of preparation involved at every level.
Indeed, from engineering tweaks to driver training, every facet of the operation needs to be finely tuned to stand a chance of success. The stakes are high, and the margins for error are razor thin.
And that's what makes Formula One so thrilling, isn't it? The blend of high-speed action and intense strategic battles makes every race a nail-biter.
Absolutely. It's a high-adrenaline spectacle that keeps fans on the edge of their seats. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's still plenty more to discuss, and we'll keep bringing you all the latest insights and analysis right here on F1 Motor Fever podcast. William, why don't we take a gander at some online chatter? What's the word on the web about our beloved motorsport?
Right, let me just pull up the forum. Looks like one user, Bob from Wales, has posted. Gap between F2 and F1 is too big, says Sargent.
Interesting perspective. Any noteworthy responses to that?
Yes, a user, Robert from London, responded, quote, "People are going to give him flack because of his results last year, but I believe Leclerc said much the same thing when he graduated to F1. I think F2 should be aiming for a super formula-like level of performance. I guess we'll see how the new 2024 car goes after the rather iffy F2 in 2018, unquote.
Quite a comprehensive response, and a fair point. There seems to be a consensus that the leap from F2 to F1 is significant.
Indeed, another user, Pete from Kent, added, also, F1 and F2 cars are way too different. In my humble opinion, it would be good to make F2 a bit closer by using some simple ground effect and hybrid-like boost.
Has anyone disagreed or brought up any challenges to implementing these suggestions?
Well, there's a comment by Russell Hasser, quote, hybrid for F2 would be a terrible idea, would just make it even more expensive for the drivers than it already is, unquote.
The cost factor, always a tricky balance to strike.
Yes, and a user named Starlet Johansson responded, quote, big F1 teams should pay for it, unquote. Quite a few various perspectives here.
That's the beauty of the internet, isn't it? A bevy of views and ideas at our fingertips. It's always interesting to hear what the fans have to say. It's their passion that fuels the sport after all. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode of F1 Motor Fever podcast. We've had a great time digging into the latest developments in Formula One and discussing the fierce competition for P2. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode.
Absolutely. And if you've got any mates who are as mad about motorsport as we are, why not share our podcast with them? We're on all major podcast platforms, so it's easy to tune in wherever you are. And hey, we always love to hear your thoughts, so don't be shy about leaving a comment.
Yes, your engagement means the world to us. The conversations, the debates, the shared passion for Formula One, it's what makes this community so special. So, keep them coming.
And of course, we'll be back with more hot topics, more analysis, and more idle chatter. So, don't forget to tune in. We've got some exciting things lined up.
We can't wait to share them with you. But for now, it's time to wrap things up. As always, thank you for being the best listening crowd in the world of Formula One.
And remember, folks, pedal to the metal, keep your gaze on the road. Our channel's content is pure gold.